Meanwhile, in the Congress-ruled state of Punjab, it is captain versus Sidhu power play, and that is intensifying. After disgruntled leader Navjot Singh Sidhu met Sonia Gandhi at the 10 Janpath yesterday, angry Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh even shot off a letter to the Congress working president Sonia Gandhi, saying that the High Command's interference in Punjab Congress will hurt both the state and the party. To quell the boiling crisis, Congress Punjab Chief Harish Rawat will be meeting the captain in Chandigarh today now. Reshuffle possibly in the organisation and the cabinet will be the talking points. But meanwhile, posters have come up across Ludhiana giving a thanks to the Congress High Command for making Sidhu likely the Punjab Congress chief. Sidhu supporters were even distributing sweets outside his residence in Patiala. So listen in now to what Punjab Affairs in charge of the Congress party Harish Rawat had indicated about Sidhu possibly becoming the PCC chief. This an exclusive only to India Today.
Amrinder Singh ji is chief minister. Yes. He's chief minister for last 4.5 years. Naturally, we are going to the election him as a chief minister. And
so Sidhu as a PCC chief and Amrinder as chief minister is a workable formula?
I cannot, because I have still the clearance from the CP is not with me.
But so something on this line, something on these lines.
But it will be something on this line, nearer to this. And both should work together, because Punjab is a very sensitive state. History owes something from both of them.
Now, the Sidhu versus the captain feud has been festering since 2017, the same year when Congress came to power. Sidhu was made a cabinet minister, and it was said that Sidhu used this perhaps closeness and association to elevate his association with the Gandhi siblings to then bargain for more within the Punjab government. But things came to a head-off when Sidhu went to Pakistan, remember, literally embarrassing his chief minister, who is also a former army man, by hugging the then Pakistan army chief. It led to a full-blown public war of words, with captain not agreeing to the behavior of Navjot Singh Sidhu in Pakistan.
How can it be that every day somebody is being shot, and whether the man who pulled the trigger is to blame or the man who gives the order, which is the chief, and the chief is Mr. General Bajwa, and to say that I don't know General Bajwa, but यहाँ लिखा होता है उनके ट्यूनिक के ऊपर, that's wrong, and I think that was wrong for him to have shown the affection he did for the Pakistani army chief.
करतारपुर साहब के दर्शनों के लिए श्रद्धालुओं को बिना रोक टोक पथ प्रदान करने के यत्न कर रहे हैं, और पूरी तरह से संभव है। निसंदेह जनरल बाजवा की ओर से कही गई ये बात मेरे लिए भाव जगाने वाली और भावात्मक थी, जिसके लिए स्वयं जनरल बाजवा के प्रति मेरा स्नेह उत्पन्न हुआ।
The Congress party kickstarts its mission Uttar Pradesh with only few months left for the crucial assembly elections in UP. Congress's General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi is leading the charge here. Mounting pressure on Yogi Adityanath government, Priyanka Gandhi will be meeting Samajwadi Party worker Anita Yadav in Lakhimpur Kheri today. Aims to reflect women's safety issue in the state. Now, to give you a background about her, Anita Yadav, remember, was manhandled by her political rivals, allegedly by the BJP, as was claimed, during the recently concluded block chief elections in Lakhimpur. Yesterday, Priyanka Gandhi even sat on a silent protest in the capital city, Lucknow, attacking both Modi and Yogi Adityanath for violence during Panchayat elections. Priyanka Gandhi is alleging that Uttar Pradesh has witnessed mass violence and also assault on women during the local body elections. Congress party is alleging widespread irregularities during the Panchayat elections.
रोज पेपर के सुर्खियों में देखिए, टीवी पर देखिए, कहीं ना कहीं किसी बेटी के साथ अभद्रता और उसके साथ जिस तरह की घटनाएं होती है, उत्तर प्रदेश शर्मसार होता है। जिस तरह चुनाव के दौरान लखीमपुर में एक महिला की साड़ी को खींचा गया, अभद्रता की गई, उत्तर प्रदेश शर्मसार हुआ। एक शब्द अफसोस के नहीं निकले इस सरकार के। निश्चित तौर से इस जंगल राज के खिलाफ आज आदरणीय प्रियंका गांधी जी उस माँ से, उस बेटी से, उस बहन से मिलेंगी और पूरी घटना और वाकया को जानने का काम करेंगे। हर दिलों में आदरणीय प्रियंका गांधी जी निवास करती हैं, लोगों की भावनाओं में, विश्वास में, भरोसे में, और उत्तर प्रदेश के बदलाव में विश्वास करती है प्रियंका गांधी जी। और निश्चित तौर से बदलाव की आंधी है जिसका नाम प्रियंका गांधी है।
And in our daily update with regard to the COVID cases, I now bring you up to speed with the active numbers now in the country. The overall India numbers, remember in 2020 were about 4,57,000, but now have gone to about 4,24,025. And this data will also reflect further on the fatalities that have come. Deaths were about 1,38,000 in 2020 December, but just a few months later, it has now gone up to 4,13,000 people lost due to COVID-19. Recoveries, some good news there. 89 lakh was around in 2020 December. We have touched almost 3 crore people and over who have recovered and returned to their families. So a reminder, take care of yourself, get vaccinated. And these are not just statistics. These are people who have faced COVID-19 and either come out safe or have perished in the pandemic. Now, remember what has... And since this data has been emerging now with a threat looming large, a top ICMR scientist has now given a warning with regard to the data that has been coming in and the threat of the third wave as well. There is an alarm bell literally that has been sounded by the ICMR scientist with regard to the crowds that could invite. Dr. Samiran Panda has warned that India could witness almost 1 lakh cases per day with the onset of the potential wave in the month of August. Because there are mutations taking place, the situation may worsen. Also remember, there have been low vaccination rates. There have been data that has been coming on every day, and the doctor is now warning that avoiding mass gatherings, wearing a mask is vital to stop the spread of the virus. And remember, this alarm bell has come based on models that have been set up, on data that has been read, and importantly research that is still on. Listen in now to what the ICMR scientist Dr. Samiran Panda has said on a possible third wave arriving by the month of August.
There is a possibility of third wave if it happens early. The earliest time when it could happen is August and near end August, I would say. And then the wave of it, the peak of it, would not be as high as India witnessed during the second wave. Somewhere between 1 and 2 lakh, per day. So that's if everything else remains same as we are facing now. But if there is a new variant which is capable of escaping the immunity and at the same time has the ability to get transmitted very fast, that particular variant might even have a wave which would be equal in height in terms of the second wave or even bigger. So, and that holds true for the states which had lower peak in the first wave and lower peak in the second wave compared to the national wave high.
Milan Sharma is now joining me for all the latest. Milan, this also means that the scientists are researching and have available scientific evidence to prove that, that the third wave is arriving. Do the scientists believe, according to you, that this upcoming wave could be much worse than what the country has seen till this time?
No, in fact, this particular third wave, when we talk about it, scientists are of the view that it will not be as big or as bad as the second wave in the country was. But surely, slowly and steadily, we are looking at the onset of the third wave. Already, the data also shown by the Union Health Ministry just on Friday showed how the cases have continued to rise once again. And we were not even over the second wave right now, but the plateau of cases during the second wave and now moving towards the third wave has already seen a surge. So scientists are not wrong with all the sort of uncooperative COVID appropriate behavior that we are looking at across the country with mass gatherings. The ministry is also of the view that people have stopped masking up and the mask compliance has gone down completely after the restrictions were opened. So therefore, mathematical models made by the ICMR as well as union ministries, data on cases is clearly showing that we are in fact looking at an impending third wave, and it may come as early as August or end of August. And this is what the suggestions are, unless we look at vaccinating quickly,
Yes.
which is also facing a slump right now.
So less than a month away for people to take more precautions and ensure that this time the country does not witness the same death and devastation that they did in the month of April and May. Milan, thank you very much. More trouble now for the organizers of the Tokyo Olympics 2020. 6 days only now before the games open, and the first case of COVID-19 has been detected in the Tokyo Olympic Village. Tokyo 2020 CEO Toshiro Muto has confirmed that a visitor from abroad who was involved in organizing the games had tested positive. However, the name and the identity and the nationality or any other detail have not yet been revealed about the individual, citing privacy concern. The Olympics will take place without spectators in Tokyo, as coronavirus has forced the country of Japan to declare a state of emergency in the capital. Earlier on Thursday, International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach had said that there was zero risk of the Games participants infecting Japanese residents with the COVID-19. Tokyo City already is in a state of emergency for the duration of the event. Organizers have imposed strict testing and limits on delegates' activities to try and soothe the concern of the Japanese public. South Africa, meanwhile, is now witnessing its worst ever violence in years, leaving more than 70 people dead already. Durban and other cities as well, including Johannesburg, are among the worst affected areas, all of which have sizable population of Indian expats. Reports suggest that rioters and arsonists are attacking business owned by Indians and Indian origin South Africans. All of this after former South African President Jacob Zuma was sentenced to 15 months prison in connection with allegations of corruption. Concerned over the civil unrest, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has called on his South African counterpart, Dr. Naledi Pandor, on Wednesday. The South African Foreign Ministry has stressed that the ongoing events are criminal in nature and not politically or racially motivated.
These are the ruins that we're currently facing, where the people have vandalized and done their looting from here, burnt the shops. This is something that we're going through now with the cleanup. We have a lot of people that are trying to clean up and to get the things sorted.